Round 17 kicks off at Penrith Stadium, seeing the Panthers up against the Titans. We're finishing Origin. We're going into a full round of football. Let's get into my Round 17 predictions. So we go to Panthers Stadium, a host of changes for these clubs, mainly ins. There's no outs, surprisingly. Dale Copley returns from injury, playing in the centres. Branko Lee is named in the side on the reserve for the Titans. Nathan Cleary is on an extended bench for Penrith. I don't think they'll play. Nothing against the Titans. I just think a team like that, you've got to rest someone. If they're injured, you want them to repair for a big game. I think there'll be a lot of points in this one, and I think the Panthers have the advantage here being at home. They're going to be too good for the Titans. I'm going to tip the Panthers 28 points to 12 here. The Titans are a bit hot and cold at the moment. It's all on the line for them. I do think that Mal Meninga may take over as coach soon for Garth Brennan. If this team doesn't improve, they'll have a lot of momentum, I think, coming into the game. I think Penrith will be too good here, 28 points to 12. The next game at Newcastle sees the Knights up against the Bulldogs. I'm looking forward to this one. Normally it's a bit of a bludge match, and I mean, you could say it is because the Knights are starting to lose game. They've won 6 of their last 8 though, which is impressive. But I think the Bulldogs will take a lot of confidence from the Sharks. Now, this one might surprise you guys, but yeah, I'm going to tip the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs this week. This is the first time I've tipped them in a while. I just think that without Kalen Ponga, the Knights are a completely different side. Connor Watson, that error, unfortunately for him against the Warriors, he will not be confident, but he will want to back up from that. Lachlan Fitzgibbon's out for the Knights, and Kieran Foran is out for the Bulldogs. He suffers a lot of injuries, and I do feel bad. Backing up from Origin in their forward pack is Daniel Saifidi, David Clemmer, and Tim Glasby. We'll see, as long as they're not injured. Mitchell Pearce is also expected. Jeremy Marshall-King is in number 19 jersey. I can't wait to see if he plays. I think he's playing some good footy. As I said, I think the Bulldogs win it. However, I don't think it'll be much, and I'm going to tip the Bulldogs by 4. I had them at 22 to 18 for the Bulldogs over the Knights. Next game sees Souths up against Manly at ANZ Stadium. Now, Souths snapped a golden point field goal. I think it was from Cherry Evans down at Lotto Land earlier in the year for a 13 to 12 win over the Rabbits. Look, the Rabbits here, they've lost 3 or 4 games in a row. I don't think they've won since May. I'm pretty sure it's 4 losses in a row straight. They need to win this game. They've got Sam Burgess back. Corey Allen in the reserves. I liked him at the start. He's not doing much for me. So Adam Dewey at fullback. But you know what? The Travojevic brothers could be the difference for Manly here. I think that the Rabbits are going to be too good here. I'm going to tip the Rabbits 18 points to 8. George Burgess is out for that filthy attack on Robbie Farah, the eye gouge. It was horrible. Billy Britton is named in the side. Connor Tracy, Jaden Sewer, the former Bronco. Sam Burgess, as I spoke about. Kane Elgie is set to return in jersey 19 for Manly, as well as Brad Parker. But I don't know. I think the return of Sam Burgess is going to boost this side to a win. I think they've missed him a lot. Ethan Lowe being in Origin, he might take a lot of experience with that. I've picked a really low score here, 18 points to 8. I think the Rabbits win this one. Next game sees the Broncos up against the Warriors. This was a really low scoring match, and I think it's a coin toss of any one game. Both these sides inconsistent. I think the Broncos take a little bit of favour being at Suncorp. I'm looking at the team list now, and I can't believe my fucking eyes. I don't know what is going on here. Anthony Milford is in number 1 at fullback, and Darius Boyd is in number 6. I don't know here. I had the Broncos to win. I hadn't seen this team list. This is a big change, and I don't know how they'll go with it. But I don't know. I'm just going to tip the Broncos here for a big one. I think at Suncorp, they've got a lot to prove. I'm going for a massive high-scoring game here with 50 points all up. I'm going with 34 to 16 to the Broncos. As for the ins and outs, you've got Corey Oates expected to back up from Origin, David Fafita, Jermaine Asako on an extended reserves bench, Anthony Milford's return, Harris Tavita is named on the bench for the Warriors, so it's good that he gets some game time. It's good to see him not in the reserves, but actually in the interchange. But yeah, I don't know. I think Brisbane are going to have a runaway. But then again, as I say every week, but I can't back them. They're so inconsistent. The Warriors are very good away, and I really wouldn't be surprised they win this game. But I'm going with Brisbane for a big one, 34 points to 16. Now, there's many exciting games of football this round, but no game has as big of an impact as this. The record-breaking 400th game for Cameron Smith. Now, Cameron Smith is a fantastic player. He did a lot for us in Origin. He can be dirty, but let's just talk positive around him this week. Let's get behind a rugby league great. Comment your favourite Cameron Smith moment. This is just amazing. I think that he is going to have a massive 400th game. The Sharks can be Melbourne's bogey team. I don't know. I just think in Amy Park they're going to be too good. I think a lot of people will think due to the Sharks losing that they'll be up for it. I don't think they'll be up for it, but I do think it'll be a fairly close game. I'm going to take the Storm by 7 here. I think it's a safe bet. And I'm also going to take a big call that a Cameron Smith field goal in his 400th game is what seals the 7-point win. So they're leading by 6. I'm going to go for a score prediction fairly low of 14 points to 21. So yeah, I don't know. I think the Storm win this one. If you're tipping the Sharks, I think you're going for a big upset. I know they've got a good record against Melbourne, but Cam Smith's 400th game, all these Origin players backing up, Addo Carr, Felice Kafusi, Dale Finucane, Cam Munster, Christian Welch, Will Chambers. The only outs for Melbourne is Billy Waters. Out for Sharks, a big loss is Paul Gallen. In is Andrew Fafita, which is a massive in for them, as well as Wade Graham. But I'm going to go the Storm by 7, and good work to Cameron Smith for reaching 400 game. I can't wait to get him around him. Now, I almost went to this game at Central Coast Stadium because it's quite close to home for me, but I'm going to the next one, which I'll get into in a moment. The Roosters up against the Cowboys. I was looking forward to going to this one. I think it'll be a very good match. Now, the fact that James Tedesco is not backing up as well as Boyd Cordner is massive outs for the Roosters. He's a boost of a player. Manu was fairly good against the Tigers, though. You've got to put him, give him a chance and a rap for him taking over at fullback. Scott Drinkwater was fantastic on his debut game for the Cowboys. I expect another big one for him. Now, it's under the radar a little, but this is Gavin Cooper's 300th game. I'm expecting a massive game from him. We'll talk about him in my best bets as well a bit later on. Jake Friend is in for the Roosters. That is massive. He is actually named as playing, not on the bench, as far as I'm aware. I'm just going to double check that. Jake Friend. Yep, Jake Friend in. Lachlan Lamb in. Matt Ikuvalu in, Takiaho in. Out, Zane Tedavano. In for the Cowboys, Cohen Hess, Josh Maguire, and Matt Scott. Matt Scott was fantastic until round 11 when he got injured. I expect the Roosters to win fairly close. I think a lot of people expect a thrashing. I'm going to go the Roosters by 12 points. This game I'll be at. I'm excited to go back to Bankwest Stadium for the West Tigers up against the Eel. It was the opening of Bankwest where we beat the Tigers 51-6. They're really going to be angry. They're going to be up for this game. I expect a lot of points in this one. I would definitely back the overs for the match. I'm going to go with Parramatta here. It is Benji Marshall's 300th game, which is a fantastic effort. Get around him if you're not going to one of these milestone games. What are you doing? But I expect the Tigers to really turn up. They've been good as of lately. As for the ins and outs, you've got Josh Reynolds in, Moses Mbai in. We've got Daniel Alvaro in on the reserves, Bevan French on the reserves. He just won't play. I'm just saying, he won't play. Murata Nakore is in for the suspended Penny Terapo. I think that we win this one due to it being at Bankwest. We're being on a bit of a roll here. The Tigers lost last week, so they'd be a little nervous, but I'm going to go with Parramatta 28 points to 18. The final game of the round sees the Dragons up against the Raiders. It's a bit of a hard game to pick here. Out of the last 10, Dragons and Raiders have won 5 each. Bit unpredictable from both sides. I've got a bit of a lean towards Canberra, even though the Dragons are at home. I think it'll be fairly high scoring. I took Canberra 22 points to 20 in a high scoring one. I think the Dragons are playing some good footy, but Canberra are playing some really good footy at the moment. We'll get into the ins and outs for both of these sides. We've got Sebastian Kris out for the Raiders, but they have a massive boost return, which is Nick Kotrick. I think he will have a big game coming back in the side. The Dragons relying on Ben Hunt, Corey Norman, Paul Vaughan, Tarek Sims and Tyson Frizzell to play Origin. Now, Corey Norman is the only one who is named in the starting. The rest are named as either reserves or on the bench. Corbin Sims is also on the bench for the side, but I don't know. The Dragons could win this game due to it being at home. I just think Canberra's going to be too good. 22-20. Let's go. I love doing this segment for you guys. Welcome to Best Bets. Now, before I get into this, I want to talk to you guys. I spoke briefly about it last night in my multis. I didn't put these in videos, unfortunately, but I took Roosters to win 1-12, Latrell Mitchell to score, West Tigers total 14.5 or over, Roosters to win both halves, Roosters to score 21st. I only put 90 cents on and it paid $69. The other one I got was Sione Matadia, anytime try scorer, who was first, which was massive for me. Peter Hiku to score over 38 points. I didn't pick a winner, and then second half, highest scoring for the Knights and the Warriors. That got me $19.11. I really enjoy doing this segment, and I got to say, I am getting up some money. If Luke Keary would have scored in the Roosters, the Roosters and the Tigers match, I would have had $600, thanks to Sports Bets Hot Shot Jackpot. Let's get into the best bets. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. So, my multi for this week is the Bulldogs to upset the Knights, the Storm to celebrate Cameron Smith's 400th game well, Parramatta to back up against the Tigers with this winning streak, and Canberra to upset the Dragons in Wynn Stadium. That's paying $12.11. My try scorers this week is definitely, without a doubt, my craziest all year. If I get this, everyone will be rolling around in cash, bathing in it, everything. Try scorers. Damien Cook, I've got a good feeling about him in this Rabbits and Manly game. Even though I think it'll be low scoring, think he'll get over the line. Cameron Smith, not only will he kick a field goal, I think he can cross the line. He'll be getting a lot of ball. I expect him to score. We'll have to wait and see. He does not score much. Gavin Cooper, it's his 300th game. He's under the radar. He wants to prove how good he is. To score against the benchmark team, that being the Roosters, I think he can do it. Mike Acevo from Parramatta. He is the leading try scorer tied with Ken Mamalo. He might score a try this week as well, but I think Mike Acevo, by the end of the week, is the leading try scorer. $243 right there. I hope you like it. My mega multi is actually less than my try scorers. I'm going to go with Melbourne, half-time, full-time. Mike Acevo, 2 or more tries. Damien Cook to cross the line in the Rabbits and Manly game. That's at $36.45. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your tips in the comments section below. Your best bets, what you think of me getting up. So I put $5 total for the 4 game, and I got up $90 over that weekend. Thought it was a fantastic result. Anyway, guys, I can't wait to go to Origin tomorrow night. I'll see you guys in that video, and just let me know your predictions in the comments.